This is Valley News Live at noon.
We start with breaking news this afternoon. A man accused in a deadly hit and run of a North Dakota teenager is now charged with murder. The Foster County State's Attorney has moved to dismiss the charge of criminal vehicular homicide against 41-year-old Shannon Brandt. The state filed new criminal charges, including double-A murder. Brandt is accused of hitting and killing Kaylor Ellingson with his vehicle on Sunday, September 18th. Newly filed court documentation detailed the conversation Brandt had with a dispatcher when he called 911. The documents say Brandt made comments regarding the incident being intentional and not an accident. Also, just into our newsroom, the case of a Minnesota man charged in his wife's death is now in the hands of a jury. Eric Reinbold faces 2 counts of murder. His wife, Lisette, was found dead in her driveway last summer. She had been stabbed 27 times. Reinbold was on the run for 26 days before he was finally arrested. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to follow this story. Ian is a hurricane again as it heads for landfall for a 3rd time. Here's a live look from our sister station in Charleston, South Carolina. As Michael George shows us, the deadly storm left a trail of destruction across Florida that will take years to rebuild.
Ian arrives in South Carolina today with hurricane-force winds and heavy rain. The storm isn't packing the punch it had in Florida, but it's still a threat to lives and property.
I think we're going to see a lot of wind. We'll probably see a lot of rain.
In southwest Florida, the view from above shows the massive devastation Hurricane Ian inflicted on beach communities. Houses were ripped from their foundations, leaving people homeless and in shelters. Emergency responders from the Coast Guard, National Guard, and other search and rescue teams have conducted at least 700 rescues so far.
There are over 1,000 dedicated rescue personnel who are going up and down the coastline.
Sanibel Island suffered major damage. The only road in has been washed away.
Everything on Sanibel is destroyed, that's for sure.
The Strader family rode out the storm in Sanibel.
The wind was coming pretty hard.
I was praying a lot, a lot.
The family had to be rescued after the storm, but their pet tortoises, the reason they stayed behind, didn't survive. Intense winds and flooding are threatening the entire South Carolina coastline. Here on Folly Beach, some race to evacuate in the final hours before Ian hits.
I don't think it's going to get any better. Definitely going to get worse. We're on the beach, so I think it's time to head out.
North Carolina's governor reminded people not to take Ian lightly.
And remember, it was only 13 months ago that Tropical Storm Fred brought destruction and death to our mountains in western North Carolina.
The southeast coast of South Carolina is known as low country, areas already prone to flooding. The storm surge there could be particularly devastating. Michael George, CBS News, Folly Beach, South Carolina.
People in Georgia are also bracing for Ian's winds, rain, and storm surge. But back here at home, warmer temperatures and maybe a few showers later. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good afternoon. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. I just wanted to give you an update on Hurricane Ian here. We're looking at a Category 1 storm that is in the process of making landfall imminently here. It's got that 85-mile-per-hour max sustained wind. It's been holding at that for a while through the morning hours. It's been not intensifying, accelerating as it's been moving toward the coast. So just zooming in a little bit here, you can see Charleston getting hit by some heavy rain, and that center of circulation is right over land here. So I expect to hear landfall happening from the National Hurricane Center officially soon. Myrtle Beach, one of those areas that could be getting that storm surge, 7-foot storm surge, as much as that in that area right now. So looking at our track, it will eventually weaken as we head into the evening hours tonight into a low, and we're looking at a subtropical low, and we're looking at conditions that are going to be rainy for a very long period of time in those areas, and that's why the concern, even after it weakens, is flooding in those parts of southeastern parts of the country. Here in the valley, we're looking at rain chances moving in to our area, southeastern parts of North Dakota. We've had a couple of lightning strikes, and we've been seeing that mainly in some of these cells that have been a little bit stronger, one just to the west of Wyndmere. We had a lightning bolt pop up there briefly, and looking at some rain there. Some places where we're seeing the lighter green, we may not be seeing much, maybe just a sprinkle or two. But we're looking off in that direction on our sky cam. Temperatures into the 60s right now. Fargo's at 67, Grand Forks 66, with increasing chances for clouds and some rain showers as we head into the evening hours for tonight. Warm though, into the 70s for this afternoon. You'll just need that umbrella if you're going to be stepping outside.
All right, looks good, Lisa. Thank you. Police are being tight-lipped about a Fargo man in the Cass County Jail for murder and criminal conspiracy. 30-year-old Joshua Brooks was booked into jail Tuesday. Valley News Live has been working to uncover the details of the case, including several requests to the Fargo Police Department, but so far they're not providing information on the case. We also contacted Brooks in jail, but he didn't want to talk. New at noon, alcohol is believed to be a factor in a crash between a Sauk Rapids man and a Minnesota State Patrol trooper. According to the crash report, 22-year-old Trevor Ryder of Sauk Rapids was going west in the eastbound lanes of Highway 10 near Rice, Minnesota around 10:45 last night. The State Patrol squad car was going east on Highway 10 with emergency lights and sirens activated when they collided. Ryder and the trooper were both taken to St. Cloud Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The trooper is a 30-year-old man from St. Cloud. Ryder is being held in the Benton County Jail and charges against him are pending. North Dakota State University's 15th president, David Cook, was inaugurated this morning and delivered his first State of the University address. It happened at Festival Concert Hall in the Reineke Fine Arts Center. The tradition takes place during homecoming week, with comments from the student body president, North Dakota University System Chancellor, and the State Board of Higher Education. And it's homecoming weekend for several high school and universities. Roads in downtown Fargo will be shut down later today to make way for the NDSU Homecoming Parade. The parade will be marching down NP Avenue and go north on Broadway to 4th Avenue starting at 5:30 this evening. The big football game is tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Fargo Dome against Youngstown State University. It's also homecoming weekend for the University of North Dakota. The homecoming parade starts at 9 a.m. at the Gurecki Alumni Center. It'll head down University Avenue and end at North 25th Street. The Fighting Hawks volleyball team plays Oral Roberts at 10 a.m. Football versus Missouri State kicks off at 1, and the puck drops for UND hockey at the Ralph at 6 tomorrow evening. Coming up at noon, double the fun and double the prizes. We have a preview of tonight's special Prices Right at Night. But next, we'll have your weather to plan your day.